There it is, the tree of life. The idea that all life is related by common descent, where the twigs are existing species and those produced in the past represent the succession of the extinct. The tree's great branches were once budding twigs, a connection between the past, present, and future. A representation of all extinct and living species with its ever-branching and beautiful ramifications. We are an evolution of those that came before. Heroes make for the best stories. It's up to you if you want to be one. Let's see. It's a place well hidden. It's just below the above. Out of Date's impressed you made it this far, but there's still so much left to do. The end of the world is still on everyone's minds. You've beaten a path where you have the power to destroy or save everyone. Question is, what you'll do with that responsibility. He worries about you. If you love yourself, you don't hurt others. But the more you hate yourself, the more you want others to suffer. Thinks it's important that you remember who you are and where you came from. He promises he'll be there for you. Just come talk to him beneath the tree if you're feeling lost. Out of Date says there's a time for everything. And now there's no use thinking of the past, for it's gone. Think of the present, because that's where you are. It's time to set your priorities as the one who completes things. He's worried that you're putting the world at risk. But darkness isn't necessarily the end of the world. It's just another perspective. If the world really does end, there won't be any... He hopes you're right. He gets that you mean the journey continues either way, but personally he wants the tree to survive. Out of Date says there's no clear record of the chain of events that changed the course of history and brought the world to its knees. He's found evidence on the Ark, records of a crisis, decades of contamination that permeated the ground and broke its inner core. The contamination disrupted what we now know as Ki energy, the life force that runs through all things, living and inanimate. He's been told the blight affected everything at a genetic level and turned our perception of normality on its head. It was only those that changed that avoided extinction, proving that the possibility for survival and renewal was real. He understands you are curious about the ship at the foot of the tree. He says it surfaced when the oil broke through the ground. The Ark predates the back-in days, and now, after years of study of the manuals he found inside, he believes he's figured the ship out. The Ark has room for 4 more, even if you think no one else is worth saving if the world comes to an end. He'll keep the seats open, and you are free to invite up to 4 others to join you in the Ark in the event of a cataclysm. Out of Date says that from what he says he appreciates what you've done. Out of Date says he knows you're good-hearted. He says he'll point you in... That doesn't sound good. Out of Date's forebodings are justified. The jumbo puff needs to be taken care of. Out of... He explains that Gizmo is working on a scrap-walker vessel in order to get to the... Out of Date suggests that you should head west as fast as... He wonders what's on your mind. Smarten up. You'd think this place would be crawling with worms. Let's see. This is called suburbia, a place to get away from the city stink. What a wonderful day! You can always find some use for rubber scrap. Good luck scraping the toxic off. This area is biocontaminated. It's really hazardous. That's a Jagni tribe outpost. The night time is the right time. It's the chug yard. Not opening for you. Locked up tight. The board mainly has posts from those that used to work at the chug yard back in the days gone. They don't make much sense these days. Not much more to say about the board, but Gizmo is holed up in the underyard here working on that Mekton of his. The Toxanol Corporation used to run chugger-chuggers out of here. The rails used to be filled with chugs packed tight with two-leggeds, like guppos in a tin. You're on the right track. Keep your eyes open. This box once tailed a chugger-chugger. Now it's just off track. Everything seems to take longer at night. Look at that! Right in... Follow the rails and you'll find all... Who do you think? Good work finding that track. They can... Tribes always scavenging for scrap, and the yard has plenty to go around. But they should have stuck to looting instead of playing around with sprockets. Spin, swing, crack. Bomper Bonker's busy ram-banging the door. This is your chance. Let's see. This is an epic already. How it ends is up to you. Yes, you can do anything. The sky's the limit. Now, let's take this back to Earth. Wow, you really took that all the way down to the end, in flames. It's a wonder some of these up and downs still work. Guess they built machines better in the past. The spent nuclear fuel that Toxanol dumped in the surf had detrimental effects on the marine habitats, while the overflowing landfills contaminated the groundwater. Combined, this sent their world... I need to brush up on my Wando, but I have a feeling... Oh, and he says he knows you. You used to call him Gizmo. He gave you the oil-greased hands. Gizmo remembers you as a nice kidling, and he can still sense the warmth. But Gizmo says how you experience a memory can be different. You know the story, but sometimes the truth it brings. He'd lie if he claimed it was all good. You changed after your Mooma and Popsy passed, and he understands why you had to leave. Gizmo says he also has re-memories from the long gone, but unlike you, he doesn't... He understands history made Loop-a-Loopin. You still believe there's some good in everyone. You still have hope for tomorrow. He says you should know that what's meant... Gizmo understands you still have strong feelings, but urges you to keep them under control.
Take that light!
Really, you ought to use your head instead of your...
See? The darkness lets you...
Just remember, you can always find...
Dark! For when you already...
Would like to... Sad to see the Tree of Life is going to die and take everything with it, but it's not like he didn't expect it. Understands why you're bent on finishing the world off. Supposes it's a mercy to make it faster. Says home is a base, but it doesn't have to be everything. The world is wider than you know. But that's not important now. Gizmo says it's taken a long time to bring the past up to the present, and where you go from here is up to you. You should return when you've retrieved the... It's the part of... There's short of breath and death to this zone. Better take care. He who half breathes, half lives. You got moves. Take it as easy as you can. That's the leftover you're looking for. That's the leftover you're looking for. The spent nuclear fuel that Toxanol dumped in the surf had detrimental effects on the... He says that's enough to get the Mecton function.